what proportion of Americans want to have Project 2025 put in place?
I would imagine a very small amount if they truly understand what it will do.
4%. 4% of Americans actually want this to happen. And you can see around the country enormous numbers of people turning out to say, hey, wait a minute. I wanted US aid to survive. I cared about the National Institute of Health. I wanted public institutions of education. I wanted the Department of Education. I wanted to have a National Weather Service. You're seeing people say this is not what we wanted.
Having said that, Heather, why is Trump's approval rating still at 47% then?
One of the ways to explain it is the idea that he has developed this personality cult around himself. But I think more interesting in this moment for us is, why do people still, as you say, support him when they don't support what he's doing? And my answer to that would be, we know now that the radical right has built its own information bubble. And that information bubble simply doesn't tell people what's happening out there. So here's an example for you. If you were paying attention last weekend, you knew that we had terrible, terrible storms across this country that killed at least 40 people and devastated huge swaths of Missouri and Arkansas straight across the country under the East Coast. And I was looking at that and I thought, I wonder what the president did about that. Because again, if you were following his social media posts, as I do, he was talking about how he had won the golf championship at his golf club in West Palm Beach. So I started looking around about it and ended up on the Fox News channel. And what they said on the Fox News channel was that Trump had called out the National Guard in Arkansas in order to deal with the crisis there. And there was all this cheerleading for, finally, we have a president who'll do something for us, and so on and so forth. Well, the National Guard is mobilized by the governor of a state. What happened was that Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who is the actual governor of Arkansas, is the one who called out the National Guard. But if you were reading the Fox News channel, what you saw was Trump did it, and Biden had never done anything like that. And I think this is the real thing that we're having to grapple with in this country at this moment, is that an awful lot of Americans are not just uninformed, they are misinformed about what is actually happening. You know, it's not like it was a fight between a Democrat and a Republican. Quite literally, Sarah Huckabee Sanders is a Republican governor of Arkansas, and yet she got virtually no credit for having called out the National Guard. Instead, Trump did, and I could not find, I won't say that he didn't do anything, because I suppose maybe he did and I couldn't find it. Didn't matter, because according to the right-wing media, he had been right there right away to take care of the problem, at least in Arkansas. Although again, that was the governor of Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.